footy fetish knows how to party. Footy fetish knows how to party. Caressing balls with our feet, yeah. We keep on kicking. We keep on kicking. We keep on kicking. Now let me welcome everybody to the footy fetish. The shots are untouchable with ball slapping nets. Like a red card for Ramos straight from the ref. Balls hit you in your face like you the keeper in the net. Oh, where are we at? We're at the 70th episode now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Footy Fetish Show. The fetish is real and the footy is soccer. With my host, as always. He's beautiful. He's lovely. He's the number after 7. Ocho, say what's up.
Yeah! Back on the mic. Quit the mic, Daddy. How's it going, Mike Daddy?
It is going great. We just covered our 69th episode, which you guys will get a whole lot of love on. Everybody's going to get love. Everybody's mentioned. Everybody in the entire world. Drinks were made. We made too many drinks. And here we are. I think we were like 5 drinks deep.
Yeah, I'm not driving.
They had adult beverages. Adult beverages were made. Adult beverages were made. In the meantime, let's pretend like 69th episode didn't happen. How was your life, Hugh?
It's been really great. Actually, had our first practice for the new school team. There's 2 teams. We've had to combine 5th and 6th. One team is going to be super badass, probably win the entire league. The other team is going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be a strug. It's going to be a strug bus all season long. But hey, that's sports. That's life. So it's good lessons.
Sounds like you have your work cut out for you.
Yeah,
as a
it's
coach.
Not my team. I was just filling in today.
Yep.
My team's pretty solid.
Yep. See?
This guy's got his work cut out.
He already said I don't have to work on that. I don't have to work on that. I got my own team. I got my own team doing my own things.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing our own things here at the Footy Fetish Show, as you know we always do. We had to bring back 2 people who just epitome, they just have the love and they have the feet to guide us through this. We need a Man U fan. We need an Arsenal fan, even though Arsenal's not even in it.
They will be.
They will be. But
We're coming.
I feel like
They're coming.
We can get into it.
Yeah.
I feel like we
100%.
should get into that as well. But we need some motherfuckers who know some soccer here outside of Tupac. And ladies and gentlemen, we have brought back 2 guests that we have loved having on this show. First and foremost, Arsenal Mike, welcome back.
Gunner Mike, bro.
Tell us,
Dude.
are you loaded up today, Gunner Mike?
I'm always loaded when it comes to my Gunners, man. You know what's going on, man.
Yeah.
Y'all know what's going on. Happy to be back. Thank y'all for having me, man. What's good with y'all?
The
Dude.
usual, bro. Glad to have you back. Ready to get your perspective on the Match Day 5 Champions League.
I've been living my life wondering when you're going to come back on the show. So I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
And this next guest.
Meantime, tell me who else we got.
This next guest, the writers sometimes they come to us and they're like, "Should we write this guest off?" And me and Booty are like, "Nah. He brings too much. We can't write him off just yet. He's too important to the plot, to the story. We got to keep him on." Everybody, welcome back, Zach Daly, still being written into the plot, into the movie, into the series. Welcome back, Zach. How's it going?
Appreciate it, guys. See, you've got my Venmo money to keep me on the podcast. I appreciate that.
Hey, we always try to find a Man U fan.
Keep that flowing.
Yeah, keep it coming.
We got a Man U fan that we're always like, who's not completely retarded as a Man U fan? Okay, yeah, Zach, bring him on, yeah.
Seriously, we've had some pretty bad Man U fans. One of them literally took a shit in the middle of the episode.
Yes.
Couldn't.
Dude, I remember you telling me about that. It's magical, is what that
You
is.
know what? You know what's great about you? Yeah, it was insane. Luckily, we I stopped it right after Booty went, "Are you shitting right now?"
He doesn't have his hand on the mouse very often, but that was one
That
where
was
it
one
was
time.
ready to go.
Wow.
So what I did was I took that soundbite of Booty and I dropped it into the intro. So if anyone wants to go hear that, it's right in the intro for
Are
you.
you shitting right now?
Are you shitting right now? But Zach, what I like about having you on the podcast talking about Man U is there's no bullshit. You keep it real. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. There's no
They're abysmal.
trying to like dance around it. It's the truth.
Yep.
And that's what we love. We love getting the truth from you. And you are probably one of our most passionate US MNT fans
Yes.
that we get on the show.
Even more important.
That's what
More important.
we absolutely love, because while we are talking about European soccer, we love to keep it local in the United States. So
Yeah.
Glad to have you back on, Zach.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
We just built this up so much. I don't know
did.
what to do. I don't know what to do other than talk about
some
Champions
shit.
League.
Cue music.
Oh, Champions! Who's ready for some Champions League? You ready for some Champions League? Q, give me match day 1. Well, match day 5. Match 1.
Match day 5, match 1.
Let's
I think
do it.
let's just start with Group A. It
Let's do it.
started off really hot and fast. We got Atletico Madrid. We got Bayern Munich, the previous year's Champions League winner, versus a team that somehow always manages to upset a powerhouse. And last year, upsetting Liverpool, knocking them out of the tournament.
They had the upset for about 80 minutes in this game.
This was wild. Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, 1-1. Let's just quickly break down these stats real quick. 45-54, 45-56. This is more like Simeone right here. Not maintaining possession, but keeping it even. Looking at shots, we've got 13 shots for Atletico, 6 to Bayern Munich. And if we look on shots on target, 6 shots on target for Atletico Madrid, 2 for Bayern Munich. I got to give man of the match here to Joao Felix. He actually did, in fact, earn man of the match with a 7.8. This was, for me, one of his best games I've ever seen him play.
He had a really classy goal.
Oh, man. He looked like a spark plug. Really interesting lineup from Diego Simeone, a 3-5-2 against Hans Flick's 3-4-2-1. So both teams decided to come out with a 3-man backline, which can be both aggressively attacking as well as solid defending, because those outside wingers in the midfield can drop into a 5-man backline.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no middle ground. You're either going all out attack or you're packing the bus. You're parking the bus here. Gentlemen, Gunnar, Mike, or Zach, did any of you gentlemen happen to catch this game?
So I caught brief moments of it.
Okay.
Trying to, this match day was a lot of fun trying to go through and watch everything you can. And like you said with Atleti, it's, with Carrasco and Trippier on the wings, those guys are really, that's really probably a 3 or a 5-3-2 for most of that game.
Right.
Right. And then, like you said, trying to break and counter, which they were successful at times, but it's going to be a lot of just, when you're playing Bayern, just can you keep the ship upright without it sinking, and see if you can get lucky with one. And, they got points from it.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They needed points here. If we look at Group A is at Bayern Munich with 13, Atletico at 6, and Salzburg and Lokomotiv at 4 and 3. So the second place spot is still very much up for grabs for all 3 of these teams. So a valuable point for Atletico. They wish they could have grabbed those 3 points, and they were so close up until the 86th minute here. One thing I do have to point out is that Bayern Munich definitely played their B squad. A lot of their big name players were on the bench, which is definitely something that's noteworthy, but Atletico, I felt, took this game by the horns and played better. It's unfortunate that they gave up a penalty in the 86th minute, but this really put Atletico into perspective for me as far as moving forward into the knockout rounds. I feel like they could definitely be a contender going forward.
Definitely agree. Want to give you a shout out first of all before we move on to. I want to see what Gunnar Mike has to say about this one, because he always has he's got the tactics. I can see him on the camera right now. His brain's going wild. Now look, I'm gonna give you some credit though, because the last episode Hugh said that Atletico would come out, Diego Simeone would try to get that quick goal, and then they'd try to just play defense after that and hold that goal.
Son of a bitch.
And they literally did that.
I forgot about that.
Joao Felix, 26th minute, gets the goal. It is scoreless until the 80. It looks like 86th minute on a penalty. So they still had it. And that mindset, they keep doing that. They beat Liverpool with that same mindset. They almost just beat, I would say, the greatest team on planet Earth right now. They almost
their B squad though.
With their B squad,
right?
With their B squad, but they almost really shook this group up a tiny bit. We already know that these two are moving on. I mean, let's be real.
Well, we can't say that.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
Zach's thinking the same thing. With
We
the
want
3 points.
we want Jesse Marsh. I know.
Whew.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
I
we do.
know.
They got
yes,
a chance.
We do. Yes, we do. They
And
do
hey,
have a chance.
they still have that
Jesse Marsh
chance.
versus Diego Simeone.
Ooh, is that the next? That is the next game. Atletico
That's the
Salzburg.
next-
That's the
I
winner.
mean, that's
So that is going to be
big.
Gunner Mike. Tell us
huge.
about it. What you think?
What's your thoughts on this game?
I mean, just like you mentioned, it was a somewhat B squad for Bayern Munich. So really, all in all, Atletico, I mean, they came out and handled their business, did what they were supposed to do, right?
Right.
They got it done. They had to get a result, a point or a win. They got the point. Obviously, they wanted to get the whole 3, but really they did what they were supposed to do. João Felix, I agree with that point as well. That was probably his best game I've seen him play for Atletico. Really, really good player. I like him right there up top, and not drifting out on the wings and all that kind of stuff. Like kind of right through the middle. I like him right there. So it was a great game.
Well said. And
Beautiful.
one thing I got to point out, I'm noticing this. We've always talked about João Felix as more of a second striker, and doing really well playing off of that true number 9.
Lately, he's kind of been a.
Well, when we look here, we look at the 2 strikers here. Correa is also a player that typically does better either on the wings or as almost a
back.
second striker.
Yeah.
And you've got almost 2 second strikers playing next to each other. I didn't get to catch this game in full, but it makes me wonder how those 2 linked up together in the attack. And I'm trying to get some touches here for João Felix.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zach.
I was gonna see if you could pull up the heat map with Felix. I was curious to that too.
Come on. I'm trying to work. There we go. Okay, so, oh, wow. Interesting. Primarily on the left side of the field, more around midfield and a little bit behind midfield. And if we look at Angel Correa's heat map, it's more towards the center. So Correa
even
not
dropped
Correa,
back a little bit. It looks
even
like.
dropping deep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would imagine this is more towards the middle of the game when they're trying to protect this lead. But I mean, from what I saw, what's his name? João Felix was picking the ball up on the left side of the field and then driving in on his right foot, which from when he first made it to Atletico, and I remember looking up some highlights, that was one of the things that the analyst said that he was really good at, was picking up the ball in deeper spaces and then penetrating forward on the dribble, favoring that right foot. And, I mean, he looked fantastic. The moments I saw him getting that ball, I was like, this is strengthening my argument for the João Felix Haaland. I've started this debate. Who would you rather have, João Felix or Haaland? And I maintain João Felix just because of his ability to create chances for himself as well as his teammates around him. Whereas Haaland is strictly feed me balls, give me service, and I'll score goals. João Felix, I feel like, can do both.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you have too much attention on him, then he kind of gets stuck. So,
But also, when we see Holland get to that point, that might be really scary.
yes.
So-
And they're both very young. This is
Yep.
why I continue this debate.
Plenty of time.
I'm going to try to continue this debate. Who would you rather have on your team, Haaland or Joao? Because I feel like
Plenty of
those two could be a potential Messi, Ronaldo. Not saying they will, but they could be in that stratosphere as far as best players in the world.
Hugh has been drinking good shit
We
tonight.
got some mixologists.
I like
They
that.
were-
I like
They
that.
sauced me up, man. I'm
I
feeling
fucking
great
I
right
like
now.
that, dude.
They
I
sauced
like
me
that.
up. But this was hot and fast game right here. Do you have anything you want to add?
The only thing I want to do is get to the reason why Jesse Marsh isn't out of this yet.
Out of what?
Out of this competition. Let's go to that next game.
Yeah.
Oh, next game. Oh,
Let's do it.
phew.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Quick ad though.
Yes, go ahead.
I will
Go
say
for
a
it, baby.
quick ad.
Go for it.
Our boy at center back, Chris Richards, getting time.
Yo!
Oh,
All right.
for Bayern, yes.
Shout out, baby.
Yes.
USMNT.
Yes.
2022. Here we come.
Rev it up.
Back-to-back world champion.
Yeah.
Back to back. We'll win a quick 2.
Hell yeah.
Be in that conversation, you heard.
All right, well, moving on to the other side of Group A, we've got Lokomotiv Moscow,
And the Jesse Marsh Red Bulls.
and we got the Jesse Marsh Red Bulls.
Let's do
this
it.
one, Booty and I both picked Salzburg here, and boy, were we right.
Boy, were
3-1
we right.
with a 2-0 in the 41st minute with Mergim Berisha. Never heard of the player.
But good for you.
Definitely going to keep an eye on this guy. This game was a Salzburg fest 3-1. The possession was relatively even here with 51-49 possession. Salzburg, however, having 19 shots to Lokomotiv Moscow's 6 shots, with Lokomotiv Moscow having no shots on target to Salzburg's 9. I'm sorry, with Lokomotiv's 4 shots on target to Salzburg's 6 shots on target. This was a slugfest, and Salzburg came away without a scratch on their cheek here. They let in 1 goal, but it was a PK. I don't consider that really too much to think about here. This for me was more of a 3-0.
It was a game they needed to win on Jesse Marsh's side.
100%.
So that shows you
100%.
how much of a fantastic coach this guy is.
Really does.
So that's all. That's literally all I have to say about that. Because Lokomotiv can score goals, and they didn't care about that. They came out, they played their game. So
let's remember here that Lokomotiv Moscow were in 3rd place with 3 points, and Salzburg were in last with 1.
Yep.
And with this win, Salzburg leapfrogged over Lokomotiv Moscow to get a European spot. And like we said here, this next game, Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but it will be an Atletico versus Salzburg. That game will determine who goes forward into the knockout round. Boy, would I love to see an American coach in the knockout rounds of Champions League. Whew.
Oh, it'd be phenomenal.
Be phenomenal.
That's gonna be must see TV on that match day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's 2 teams. You know, Salzburg is gonna be the underdog, but you know, who would you rather have coach an underdog team than a Jesse Marsh?
exactly.
100%.
To kind of pull through and get through that. And with, you know, essentially, you know, what Salzburg is the, you know, the Red Bull umbrella. It's their B squad.
Yeah.
As they move up. So to be able to do this in Champions League, to have an A and B squad essentially through their system, and have both of them move forward, you know, is super, super exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. It's going to be, like I said, I think that's a Wednesday game. Those Wednesday matchups are just going to be, I'm going to be on like 14 different screens trying to watch everything at once. Because it's going to be a lot of fun.
So I'm pulling it up right now. You are spot on. We've got Bayern Munich, Lokomotiv. So although Bayern are the previous year's champions, they will probably be playing their B squad. So it is possible for Lokomotiv to squeak out a win here. And Salzburg Atletico, this is going to be an interesting finish.
If Salzburg just plays their go for it, Mike.
No, I was gonna say that's going to be good. That's going to be good. Shout out to future Arsenal player Dominic Zoboslai. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, Dominic Zoboslai. Hell yeah.
If they got a chance to win, against Madrid, is that game in Madrid? Do we know?
Wait, Madrid?
That game.
What are you talking about?
Is it in Madrid?
You mean Munich?
Munich.
Wait. I thought we were talking about Salzburg and Atletico.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah,
shit.
geez.
I'm tripping,
Mike,
dude. I thought about Real Madrid. Yeah, I was like, Madrid? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Damn, my bad. No, I don't know. I think the home team is on the left.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
European usually does the opposite of what we do, of course.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Well, hey, they at the crib, and they got a chance to. Man, look, man, they got a chance. They got a chance, but they gonna need the big guys to show up.
You know what? And Mike, funny you brought that up. Last episode, we talked about how even though there are no fans in the stands, you're playing.
It's at Red Bull.
It's at Red Bull.
Look at that. Look at that.
Ooh, boy.
They got a shot.
So to finish this thought, even though there are no stands in the fans, you're playing at home. You like that? I messed it up, didn't I? Oh man, there's no
stands in the fans.
That was good, man.
I hope there's no stands inside of fans.
So smoothly too.
I think you should keep going.
Like you did that
There's
shit
no
like you
stands
really
with the
meant it
fans.
too. Like that was. Yeah, that was smooth, bro. You should have kept going. Honestly, you should have kept going, dog.
I wasn't gonna laugh, but I had to laugh.
Now.
There wasn't any stands within those fans. They sat on those stands so hard it went inside them.
I can't talk right now.
I'll finish it up for him. I'll tell you what.
You know the thought I'm going with.
This is gonna be serious for our boy. It's gonna be serious for our boy. Let's lay it down.
Real quick, I got it. I'm back. All right. Even though there are no fans in the stands, this is your home field, and it is a great tool to use as a motivator. If I'm Jesse Marsh, I'm saying, boys,
What if he can do it?
we've got to defend the home field. This is your home field. You don't lose at home. Fans or no fans, you don't lose at home.
He's gonna say it in 3 different languages. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
English,
Let's roll.
Austrian,
Let's fucking roll.
Hungarian, probably throw in some other Slavic
This is a
language.
beatable team, dude. This is a
And
beatable
this
team.
is a beatable. Whoa.
I think it is.
You calling Atletico beatable?
Yep. Because people have beat him.
All right, let's go around the room. I got a good question. I got a good
They're
question. Do you think I'll go with Booty and then I'll go Zach and Mike? Gunner Mike.
I'm losing this.
Do you think Atletico and Salzburg are going to play each other straight up, or do you think one of the teams is going to park the bus? Booty.
Straight up. Because
Zach.
they have nothing else. They have nothing else to go with. This is it. This is all it.
Zach, what do you got?
Yeah, I still think Athletic. They're going to play to what they do. They're going to sit back and invite Red Bull to come and attack them
Hey.
and hit them on the counter.
Contrary.
I mean, it's their bread and butter.
Yep.
Because Red Bull have to win. They have to win.
Yep.
This is true. And they're going to bring it.
And so it's not. They can't play for a tie. They can't play for anything else. They've got to go load it up and go attack. And the problem is Atletico is one of the best counterattacking teams we've seen.
True.
So.
Very true.
So will they play straight up? Yeah, I think so because Red Bull wants to attack and press. So I think it could be a very, very fun game to watch.
Should be a good one.
Nice. Gunner Mike, what you got?
Close
Hey,
out.
so I tell you, my first point where it's going to be interesting in this matchup, I'm looking at it right now. Atletico got to play Salzburg, and obviously a game where they got to at least tie it for them to advance. 3 days later, they got Real Madrid. 3 days later. So who do you put out there? Who do you put out there on that Champions League match day? Now that's what's going to be interesting.
Hot
Now
take.
to get into how Salzburg is going to play, I think they may channel their Inter Atalanta. You know what I mean? And just throw everybody up there and try to go win a game. I mean, they got to win. So you got nothing to lose. You just go for it. So should be good.
Wow. That is a hot, beautiful take. Zach, what you got?
I think looking at La Liga standings too, I think they're willing. I think they'll put more stock into the Champions League game just because they've got 2 games in hand. They're sitting in second place over Real, who's still 6 points back with 1 game in hand. So I think they'll be willing to risk putting more stock into the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because right now Real aren't really threatening in La Liga, so I think they may push for Champions League overall.
This is beautiful, and we love both of what you guys are saying. I want to get you guys' takes, but I also want to hear what you guys think about Group B.
Ooh, let's jump into it.
Let's jump into Group B.
Let's go.
You guys are on fire right now, so I kind of want to hear this. Because Group B, that first matchup we had, oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is the first game of the match day 5.
Brazil University. Shakhtar University.
I should have never doubted them. God damn.
It's all right. They still love you, I think.
Yeah, they do.
They went against Real Madrid. I mean, how could you? That's like both your squads going up against each other. You can't do anything against that. Shakhtar with the 2-0 win. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. I saw maybe like a 3-2 win, maybe a 2-2 draw.
No goals from Real.
No goals. From
Shocking.
Real.
Absolutely shocking.
So we're back to if Zidane's going to get fired. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, real quick, hold on. Before we do that, let me break down some stats real quick. Real Madrid, 58 to 42% percentage possession. Total shots, we got 15 shots for Real Madrid, 7 for Shakhtar. And when we look on the shots on target, Real have 8 shots on target,
just
and
none there.
4 for Shakhtar.
Yeah.
This was an interesting game. This was a playbook out of Atletico Madrid, out of the Italians. Just sit back and absorb the attack. We know we can counter. And let's not forget, you've got no Sergio Ramos for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
This is a simple tale. Real Madrid, for some reason, struggle so much without Ramos here.
I think that they struggle so much against Shakhtar. I'll
That
take
too.
that further.
Yeah.
They've looked absolutely horrible the
Lost
last two
both.
times. Yeah, I mean
Both games.
they've looked terrible. But I mean I like what you're saying. I mean obviously everybody knows that stat. I think Real is now 2 for 10 on wins without Sergio Ramos. So that's something to think about.
Wow.
Yeah, before the last game that they didn't have him
That's
and they
right.
won
That's right, against Inter.
against Inter,
Yeah.
it was 1 for 10. In the last 10
1 for 9?
without
1
him.
for 10.
It was 1 for 10 without him.
Okay.
And
So this is 2 for 11.
2 for 11. Yes.
Okay.
2 for 11. So that's
Horrible percentage.
That's horrible percentage number 1, and he's also the guy scoring your goals, but he's a defender.
Yeah, center back.
So it's a problem. It's a problem. Gunnar Mike, what do you think about this?
I mean, I think I'm gonna be seeing Madrid possibly in Europa League with my guys. It's looking spooky right now. I mean, they got to play Gladbach on that last match day, and we've seen what they can do.
Number
They've
one
been a
team.
pretty decent side. So it's going to be a tough football game. And then just like we mentioned previously, they got to go right back and play Atletico, and that's a big deal for them because I mean, like my man Zach mentioned earlier, they're down in the league, way lower than what they should be, being who they are. So they got a lot going on right now. So I don't, everybody better eat their Wheaties.
That is some great points. They need to win both of these games to start advancing in these prospective tournaments.
Gladbach's going to score on him. I think Gladbach can score on him.
Oh,
I agree.
100%.
I agree.
So
100
Oh yeah.
Zach, what's your takeaway from this game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it just kind of speaks to the first part we'll talk about is Ramos. I mean, once you pull a leader out of there, then it just falls apart, right?
Yeah.
And what's frustrating from a Real side is, and maybe Mike can correct me on this, but I think he plays the left center back, and you see the numbers right there on WhoScored.com for Varane and Vasquez, Modric and Rodrigo, just blown apart on the counter, and just thankfully I'm not a Real Madrid fan, so I don't lose sleep over this, but. If you're telling me this is the team that you're going to roll with, it's frustrating because these aren't the Galacticos.
I tell you what, Bahrain is consistently bad.
These are
my bad. I thought you was done,
bro. Oh yeah.
Bahrain is consistently bad without Ramos. Consistently.
Oh bad.
Yeah.
Mike was just like,
but you look
jumping
at
in.
you look at Luka Modric, who's past his prime.
Yep.
Cruz, for as good as he is, past his prime. Benzema past his prime, and so you try to bring in a kid in. I always pronounce this right, but Odegaard, yeah. Yeah. By even Pep Guardiola's comments, Pep Guardiola wanted him to turn him into the best player in the world, and he's, look who's around him. Like, what's he supposed to do with that? I mean, that's the reality. Like, I mean. It's hard to look at this. I had a chance to look at some old games, watching some old World Cup footage and some old Real footage, and where are those players in this go around? Did you replace Ronaldo when you sold him? No.
Nope.
Not even close.
They
thought it was Hazard.
And you got to understand. Yeah, and from a financial standpoint, sell Modric, sell Cruz. Use that money, get rid of Benzema. And rebuild that midfield into the Galacticos midfield, because this isn't it. This isn't even close.
They're one of those teams that they like to cling on to the past a little bit.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
It's okay sometimes if you do, but in this case, like you said, you could have made some money off of those guys.
We have to remember that they didn't spend a single dollar this past summer, and I have a feeling this upcoming summer, combined with the Euros and the Olympics,
it's just not.
There's going to be some big splashing. I have a feeling they're going to completely change their starting lineup going forward.
Have to.
I feel like Hazard will still be there, but to piggyback what you're saying, Zach, I feel like Modric sold, Benzema sold, Potentially Ramos. I don't know if you keep him around. I mean, I know he's a spine of the team, but
I think center backs usually age well in Spain. I
True.
mean,
very true.
to me, Ramos is very, very reminiscent to Carlos Puyol. He's the heart and soul of that team, and let him. For all I care, he could retire. I mean, he's still playing at a high level.
Right.
And for a center back, he'll last. They age well at that point. If he's playing your left forward, then maybe we need to have a discussion. Unless he's on the Cristiano Ronaldo diet. But I'm fine with keeping him. It's just everything around him is just not good.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Mike, you look like you had something to say about that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I completely agree. I mean, Madrid is in vital positions. They're old, and they need to improve. I tell you what, talking about going back to Odegaard, I think Odegaard had more fun at Sociedad last year than what he's having right now. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy. They need an overhaul completely. And like you said, they didn't spend this past summer, so this summer it should be big. We'll see if they go for Mbappe. I'm sure it's the long-term target, but we'll see if anybody can pry him out of there.
It's going to be an interesting rebuild for Real going forward.
It's interesting that you brought up the. I think Zach just brought up the. The whole Ronaldo. They didn't replace him. That they replaced him with a goalkeeper. I don't know if you remember the first buy that they had. Right after that was Courtois. Courtois they bought for way too much.
Did you say Courtois?
Courtois.
Okay.
The guy's as big as the goal, but he can't stop shit lately. And it almost makes me wonder. Is it all your back line? Like, I guess it is.
But why is Varane? He's a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
I mean, did he get carried on that World Cup squad too?
I don't know.
Who you're partnered with at that position?
I mean, did he get carried on all those Champions League wins? Like, why all of a sudden is he so bad?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't want to use the word carried, but I think you've got to have, like, in a four-back system, you've got two center backs there, and one has to lead. And maybe he doesn't have those leadership qualities and really struggles.
That's spot on.
They can lean on Ramos to even give him direction on the field. And when it's looked at to where he's got to do that, it's not a good.
Your other option without Sergio Ramos is Nacho.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Or it was Militao, who
Militao,
I mean, obviously is like, nah, bro, you're not even close to
He's getting loaned out right now, isn't he?
No, he's still there. He was on the bench.
Okay.
I saw him on the bench.
Okay.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
And then I'm looking at Spain. Not Spain. I'm looking at France. You have
Umtiti
during the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing.
I mean, that's an easy player to step up and be that leader of the backline. So
yep.
I think you're right, Zach. I think he's just not a leader, and he relies on having a leader next to him to kind of be that complement and be that piece.
And it's not a terrible thing until that guy's not playing in the side.
Right.
Yep.
Jeez.
And it becomes horrific.
Yep. You lose 2-0 to Shakhtar. That's what happens.
Maybe an Upamecano buy?
Oh.
Maybe a little Upamecano over at Real Madrid?
I'll tell you what's a better game.
Gunner Mike's not liking that.
No, man.
I'll tell you what's a better game than this one.
Oh, yeah. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
What's a better game?
Inter
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yes.
I got
my
you,
God.
Booty.
Gladbach.
Gladbach.
You got to throw up on it.
This was a very eventful game here.
It was very eventful.
This was a 3-2 win to Inter, keeping themselves alive. Excuse me, I just burped. This game had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 yellow cards. And Inter barely squeaked out this win. I mean, 3-2. They scored their third goal in the 73rd, and Borussia Mönchengladbach scored shortly after in the 75th. And you can just see that Inter were just clawing to keep this win with 5 yellow cards after that. Inter had 46% possession to Borussia Mönchengladbach's 54. The number of shots, 15 shots to Inter, 10 shots to Borussia Mönchengladbach, with 5 shots on target to Borussia Mönchengladbach and 4 to Inter. This was a very exciting game. Conte came out with his usual 3-man back with the 3-5-2. Lukaku and Martinez up top. Borussia Mönchengladbach came out with a 4-2-3-1, the typical German formation. And Plea, this new player I've not really paid attention to. I know we shouted him very early. had a brace and almost came away with the hat trick draw. This was a very exciting game. Shout out to Romelu Lukaku, fantasy, got those points. That was super clutch. Really appreciate those points, Lukaku. I don't know if you remember, I called this game Inter win, Lukaku 2 goals.
He did.
I fucking called that shit, and I've got to back it up, bro.
I gotta give him the cred. I picked Gladbach because I was on a roll with him,
Boom.
and he finished it up.
Shit.
So I'm gonna say that. At the same time, Gladbach still impressed me because they hung with this, and they're very hung.
They hung in there.
But Inter, I mean, when you need to win, you need to see it. Conte put his boys together and did it. I just wish I'd see that more from Conte and Inter. I don't know. Let me get a coach's perspective. Zach, what do you think? What do you think about this match in particular? The two sides. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I think it's Inter with their half of an EPL team squad, sitting back and playing a counterattack. It's Italian, man. It's Italian to a T. It's Conte.
Typical.
You've got Darmian and Ashley Young, as wingbacks again, so they drop into again defensively a 5-3-2, and then with Romelu Lukaku up there just being an absolute beast in getting goals. His hold-up play has been very good. It's something I think he's actually gotten better with since he left United.
Definitely. Yep.
And part of that could be just the Italian league letting him develop that a bit better. And then you've got the former United man in Darmian getting a goal, so that hurts a little. But it's, Inter is one of those teams that you think should be good, but then you look at the table, and it makes you scratch your head a bit. They still have a chance to get out. Again, it's going to be a fun match day, but you'd like to see them, if a team sits back against them, the way Gladbach may do as well, are they going to do well in possession? We'll kind of see. They've got Shakhtar, yes?
They do.
I like what you said though about
two teams built on a counter. And,
this is going to be fucking wild.
I like what you said about Serie A though, because they get freaked out by Serie A for some reason or something. Like they look like a completely different team. They look way worse, and they usually like. As far as they haven't been looking hot in fucking Champions League, but they look 10 times worse than Serie A the last couple of years. I don't understand it either. Coach's perspective.
Yeah, it's just probably a bit of changing of the guard, right? So you're changing from Inter Milan being one of the top teams in the world at one point to where now we've changed and we didn't age well and. Maybe we didn't get the right coaches. Maybe one of their coaches coached there, went to Atlanta United, and somehow got the Dutch coaching job. Amazingly, I don't understand it. Yeah, Mike knows what I'm talking about.
I heard you say we as well. Look at you. Been a Conte fan. Go ahead.
And so now it's maybe they've got Conte in again. Like I said, they've got half of a Premier League team. And so now they're starting to bring in players. Italy's a very weird league, right? It can be hit or miss, and if you're not hitting, it's not an attacking league. You don't see a lot of playmakers. That's why I think you see Sanchez struggle at times with it. It's not an attacking league, and so you can build up forwards. And you guys know this name, Zlatan. Flourish there because he's a big player. He's a strong player. And kind of can play off and be physical, and that's where I think Lukaku is starting to flourish. But if you don't have that, then it's really tough in that league because it's physical.
Yes, very much. It's tactical, it's physical, and
it's very. I would say it's defensively tactical.
Yes, absolutely. There are players that say they earn their master's degree in defending after going through a couple of seasons in Serie A.
And I fully believe it.
Yeah, it's very spot on. I mean, we look at all these Italian national teams, and then throughout the ages, and they're just right now is probably the one exception. But if you go back in history, the Italians are just very notorious for being solid backlines as well as a keeper. And right now is probably one of the exceptions. I don't think the Italian backline is as strong as it usually is, but the league is certainly very defensive-minded, as you said, Zach, and we certainly see that in Conte's style of play here. Winning the game. He does this time and time again, winning the game with less possession. And it just goes to show you don't need the ball for the majority of the game to win. You just need it in dangerous positions. And
you need to finish your chances when you get
finish your chances. That's what it comes down to. Champions League is not forgiving, but if you can finish your chances, you can certainly take advantage of the game and move forward. And when we look at this table here, all right, we just spoke about Real Madrid and Shakhtar Donetsk. Borussia Mönchengladbach are still leading this table, surprisingly. Never in a million years would I have predicted Borussia Mönchengladbach in first and Inter in last. But this table goes as follows. Gladbach in first with 8, Shakhtar in second with 7, Real Madrid in third with 7, and Inter in last with 5. This table is ridiculous. Totally wide open. It's so tight. It's so tight. When we look at match day 6, Real Madrid versus Gladbach and Inter versus Shakhtar Donetsk. If Inter can win,
Here's a towel.
they get 8. Okay, and Shakhtar at 7. So Inter will jump over Shakhtar. And when we look at Real Madrid versus Gladbach, again, if Real Madrid can win, they leapfrog over Borussia. But the difficulty comes with draws, okay? Because you've got a team with 8, 7, and 7. And I don't feel like going through the tiebreakers right now.
This day could end where Gladbach isn't in at all.
Right. Or go to Europa. They go to Europa somehow,
Yeah.
you know? But Inter is a must-win. If they want to advance at all into the knockout rounds or Europa, it is a must-win. A draw will not work. Real Madrid, Shakhtar, and Borussia, they can draw or win and get in either knockout or Europa. I really don't know. There's too many different scenarios that could play out. I don't feel like going through that right now. So with that being said, let's go into my favorite group.
I was thinking about a team that both these guys hate. How about that? How about Manchester City versus, was it Olympiacos?
One second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. Nice.
They pay for that
nice
too?
tough
They pay
group
for
that we
that
got
too?
drawn into.
Yeah,
This is
of course.
Group.
Money buys things.
Money buys wins. Group C.
See?
We're in Group C, ladies and gentlemen.
Money buys you a jersey that looks like the bottom of a swimming pool and a matchup against Olympiacos. Or, excuse me, FC Porto.
Can't believe it. We thought they were going to buy this win, and they drew.
And they
Man
drew.
City, FC Porto, 0-0.
They're not that good, folks.
68% possession. I cannot say that word today after episode 69.
All I'm going to say from this is don't believe City's good.
When we look at the shots, 18 shots for Man City, for 2 for FC Porto. How do you not win this game?
And
How do you not win this game?
Pep was, again, just fucking around. Look at this lineup. A 4-2-3-1 with fucking Sterling on the right
That's
over
the
there.
modern formation, bro. I don't have a problem with this formation.
Well, if you don't get your goals, you should probably think about another formation.
And let's remember here, Group C, okay? I'm pretty Man City they've advanced. They're in 13 points.
They're just playing games.
They've advanced. They don't really care at this point.
Cool. Come play games with Liverpool in that fucking round of 16. See what happens. Hope they whoop your ass.
Fellas, I'm going to pass it to Mike Malone. Mike, thoughts on this game?
They had the B team out there playing. I didn't get to actually watch the game entirely. But they had the B team out there playing.
No need.
Not much to watch.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say? Oh yeah, no, not at all.
I was gonna say, not much to watch out there.
Yeah, no.
Not
So
much
you
to
know,
watch. 0-0.
it just wasn't much going on. You got Torres playing in number 9. I've never even seen that before for him. So I didn't even think that was in his wheelhouse. But yeah, it's just not a good game at all. So that's it. Fuck City.
Zach, thoughts?
Zach.
Fuck City.
Yeah, I thought
Zach, I wanted to see, what do you think about what if they draw? It's a Man City, Man U round of 16. What do you think about that?
I think Man U
You
smashed
got
Man
'em?
City.
Smash them?
I think they smash them.
Hell yeah. Love to hear that.
Not even close.
I mean, and we'll talk about United here
Yes,
in a
we
little
will.
bit.
Yes,
It
we will.
depends on the midfield. Depends on the health of the midfield, man.
Interesting.
But to sum this game up, I can't put it more perfectly than the Porto coach did when he asked, about Pep being. Press asked him, about Pep being upset, and all he says is, "I'd be upset too if I couldn't win with City's budget." And so it made me so happy to hear that. But as much as I like Pep, man, the reality is, even with the players on the field,
Right.
that's a lot of money that
Yeah.
didn't win you a game.
Absolutely.
A lot of money, man.
Absolutely. Something that's telling for me is Joao Cancelo was the man of the match with an 8.1.
Yikes.
Yeah.
For doing what?
Yeah.
Showing up?
He was the only one in space. I mean, you're looking at Porto. They played a 5-man backline, a 5-3-2. You
Yep.
can only imagine that this game was just played in FC Porto's half. I'm willing to bet when we pull up these heat maps, yeah, the majority of the game is played in FC Porto's half.
They held it.
We're looking at touches here. Man City practically doubled the amount of touches of FC Porto here. And
Yeah,
it just
held
goes
it.
to show that parking the bus, sometimes it helps out, man. It gets you a point.
Sometimes does.
18-2.
Yeah, and looking at that heat map, what you see is the reason why Cancelo got that was, let's be honest, Sterling tucked in, Cancelo got wide, sent the ball wide, cross it in, and nobody can finish.
Right.
Is what that tells me.
Pep has always had a problem
it's-
with a true number 9. You look back to
Yeah.
like a Barcelona with Zlatan. You've got, like you said, you've got a Ferrari, and you play him like a Fiat. You've got one of the best number 9s in the last decade, the last 2 decades, and you don't know what to do with them. For some reason, Pep struggles to play the ball into the box, like a crossing ball, the traditional English style ball, just the big man ball. Like, I don't know what it is.
He's stuck on that Bundesliga shit.
Well, I think it's philosophy versus, to me, I think his philosophy takes precedent over winning a game still. And his philosophy has been very, very successful. But philosophies tend to come and go with everything.
Yeah.
This game over time is evolved and devolved and changed the way the game's played. And, it's not surprising what he does anymore.
Right.
And
Yep.
just looking at the midfield, you don't have a lot of engines there.
Yeah. No De Bruyne.
No De Bruyne, and you've got your center backs out, which he puts a lot of faith in his center backs. But you don't see either of the 2 starters there. So it's just kind of, is as much as they should have gotten a result. Again, like we talked about, this is their B team. He made 1 sub. And that was putting Jesus in Torres.
What a sub, huh?
and looking at the EPL table,
Come
Man
on, Leeds.
City
Come on, Leeds.
are in the mid-table with 15 points. They're in 11th place. First place is 21, so they're 6 points back from first place. It is a very tight table, but Man City in 11th? Man, I never would have thought I would have seen that.
I didn't buy a
Never.
Ferrari to finish 11th,
Never.
I'll tell you that.
That being said, their next game is tomorrow at 9 a.m. against Fulham.
What's the other game in this group, Hugh?
What is the other game in this group?
Come on,
We've
let's
got
smash this one real quick.
Marseille, Olympiacos. I think both you and I picked Marseille to win this one, and they got 2 PKs. Dimitri Payet banging both of those home.
I think I went Olympiacos just to be an asshole.
You did go Olympiacos.
Let me see.
No, you
Let me
picked
see.
a draw. You said there was
Right,
going to be
a
no
draw,
goals.
'cause it's so disgusting.
And you said the
Exactly.
Greeks and the French are going to come after you because you've been talking shit. Booty picked a draw. I remember this very vividly. We look at possession here. This is a 54-46 possession favor to Marseille. We've got 12 shots to Marseille, 7 to Olympiacos, with 5 shots on target for Marseille and 2 to Olympiacos.
He was correct. He had the Marseille.
That's right.
I had the draw.
I know this.
Joe had Olympiacos.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
this. I'll take the dub there.
Yep.
I'll take the dub there. This
Yep.
one I didn't watch. Fellas, I'll be surprised if either of you watch this game here. I think we could just kind of quickly gloss over this. Did you guys watch this?
No, it's just because there were no implications. I mean, that group is already tied up.
Pretty much. Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping Marseille would do a little bit better. but fell flat.
Looking at this group very
Flattered.
briefly, Group C, we've got Man City in first with 13, FC Porto in second with 10, and then Olympiacos and Marseille with 3 and 3. Like Zach said, this group is wrapped up. Really, they're only competing for that Europa spot.
It's a bunch of whores at that point. Whores.
Let's move on to
Whores.
Group D.
D.
We are the D.
You wanna get the D?
We are the D.
Let's get the D.
Let's get on to Group
We
D.
are D.
This one, we've got 2 games here. We've got Liverpool versus Ajax. This one, I was really hoping for a better scoreline here. We got a 1-0 to Ajax, 1-0 Liverpool over Ajax.
It's looking like those two teams were the most evenly matched teams of all time. If you really go back and look at all the stats.
But again, this is, and I got to bring this point up. I bring this point up almost every podcast. The frequency of games in this season has caused teams to have to play backups, and we're seeing a lot of backups. We're seeing a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was certainly not Liverpool's best 11,
And still managed to get it.
and they still managed to get it. Shout out to the youngster, Curtis Jones, with a goal in the 58th minute. When we look at possession here, we've got
Off the outside of his foot, too, by the way.
Yeah, it was a nice
It was
goal.
a pretty goal.
He had a great
Goal.
match.
He
He had a
also
great
had
match.
a banger off the crossbar, which
Yes.
I was very impressed with. This one, he did, and props to him. This was, I had an argument with someone earlier about how these games have been too close together, and his point was this is an opportunity for young players to step up and really make a name for themselves, and I feel like Curtis Jones really did that. He took advantage of this game right here. This win really solidified Liverpool going forward, and they're definitely going to be holding on to him or looking to sell him for a high price. Looking at the possession of this game, we've got 44 to Liverpool. Very strange possession stats here, and 56 to Ajax, with 15 shots to Liverpool and 11 to Ajax. 5 on target for Liverpool, 4 on target for Ajax.
I want to piggyback off of what you just said for a second. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No, go.
with
Good.
Jones, if they want to make that money off of him, now they're, if I'm not mistaken, they're in, right?
Let me check.
So you got to start him next game.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah, they're in.
They're in.
They're in.
Start him, sell him, and they're looking to get some back line help.
Do you sell them in January or summer?
Sell him as soon as you can and get some back line help.
Mm.
Upamecano, Mike.
Yeah, no,
Upamecano is
I
going to be
agree.
bought. in
He's
January.
probably
By
getting picked up
Liverpool,
in January.
probably.
Hot take. And what's really interesting is the UEFA recently made this rule change where if you're on a team in Champions League and you get bought by another team in Champions League, you can still play for that team in Champions League. We saw it last year with Holland, going from RB Salzburg to Dortmund, and actually scoring 2 goals against PSG in the knockout rounds. And making a huge impact. So going forward, I predict Upamecano being sold because there are so many teams that desperately need a center back going into these knockout rounds. Look for Liverpool to pick him up. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I think just touching on that real quick, I think this is going to be one of the most active January transfer windows we've probably seen in a long, long time.
Everybody took that little break for COVID, right?
That's right.
And now they're ready to spin.
Well, it's not only that, but you look at at Liverpool especially. You look at the injuries that have just mounted up, and so to me, I don't think they'll sell Jones. I think at most he'll go out on loan. He's a young player that I think they like to keep.
Right.
They'll probably, I would see them loaning him out, but with this season, they may just try to hold everything they got and bring in somebody, just because
They have to.
We're almost at the halfway point, and you're just seeing some teams just be decimated with injuries.
That's right. That's right.
So,
especially with Van Dijk, that was one of the spine of that's the backbone of their team. They desperately need someone, and he's gone for the entire season.
Yeah,
they desperately need someone to come in and fill those shoes. And I like what you said, Zach. I think they're going to keep Curtis Jones. He's definitely a player that they could sell, but I think you're right. They love what they're seeing out of him, and he's stepped up and really helped them in a big way to really solidify this first place in Group D. With that being said, go on to my my Cinderella sweethearts here.
What happened here, dude?
Atalanta versus Midtjylland.
What happened here?
1-1. I
What
didn't see this
happened?
one, but I can only imagine the magic sauce was not being passed
The
out.
titties were small. Well, they were big, not for Atlanta.
But if you look here, okay, this is 1-1.
wow, they got titty
Atalanta
fucks.
dominating possession, 68-32.
Look at this.
19 shots for Atalanta, 11 for FC Midtjylland. And we look at shots on target, 8 for Atalanta, 4 for Midtjylland.
Did Ilicic
Players-
start? No.
No.
Boom.
He got subbed in second half, though.
That we've been saying it. I have to give
I
him
know.
credit.
Yeah.
I gotta give him
We've
credit.
both been saying this. You drafted him. I mean, you
Yeah.
got faith in Ilicic. It's not like we both don't know his talent.
If he's in,
The boy has got skills.
if he's in, it's fucking serious.
He's got skills. And when he starts,
not
it's
understanding
all-
why he's not in.
I would love to see that stat. When Ilicic starts, what is the record of Atalanta? Do they win? 90%?
I would say 90%.
I mean, they beat Liverpool when he started.
this is ridiculous.
This is unbelievable.
This is ridiculous.
This is a must-win. You have to win this game.
I'm sorry. I like Muriel, but he needs to be coming off the bench.
Yeah, he needs to be coming
He
off
needs to
the
be
bench.
Zapata and Ilicic, and let's fuck around.
And what
ridiculous.
happens with this draw is this allows Ajax the ability to jump them going forward into match day 6. And if we look at match day 6, does Ajax plays Atalanta?
Another one. Wow.
Uh-oh. Winner moves on. Loser goes to Europa. In this game, or in this group, FC Midtjylland, they're just here to have fun. They squeaked out a draw, courtesy of Atalanta. They finally got a point. So props to you, FC Midtjylland. It's taken you match day 5 to get 1 point. Congratulations. First time in Champions League. Way to go. That's
Big and
just,
Mike there.
hey, welcome to the club, the 1 point club.
Whew.
Because there's,
Yeah, I think I had that hot take at the beginning though.
you might
That
have.
they were gonna get a point.
I think, you
Midtjylland,
know what,
yeah.
dude? If we look at it, they were the last team to secure a point here.
Rams, man.
Love that.
Oh, wait, was it Ren? Ren could have
Ren-
also secured a
Ren.
point.
So disappointed.
Regardless,
Renee.
FC
Renee.
Midtjylland, Renee. Renee. FC Midtjylland, thank you for showing up. Doubtful we'll see you next year, but hey, if you're there, you're there, you know? Welcome to the club.
I'm French and I hate Ren. I'm part French. I hate Ren.
Atalanta, I wish I could have watched this game in full. I'm looking at their lineup here, and there's not a lot of familiar faces. I'm looking at the midfield, Pessina, Freuler, Gomez. Gomez, of course, is a familiar face, but Zapata and Muriel, both Colombian.
They both had a terrible game.
Both had a terrible game. Don't even see any crossbar shots. Really wish I could have watched this.
Get Ilicic in there. This is ridiculous.
Let's check the total shots here. Zapata had 6 shots.
It's ridiculous. Get Ilicic in there.
Come on, man.
Get silly with Illy. Get fucking
Wow.
Illy in there.
Hashtag get silly with
Get
Illy.
silly with Illy.
Nice booty.
I like it.
This one actually.
Next tattoo.
Oh.
I was thinking the same.
Get silly. Get silly with
Oh,
Illy.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. Right where it hurts.
Atalanta really got a tough hill to climb. They could have just put themselves in the knockout round with 2 more points. They could have gone to 10.
Ridiculous.
Ugh.
Can we talk about Ajax?
We did.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them again.
Why?
Because they just plug people in.
They
They're going to
do.
do it, and
They-
they're going to jump them.
Ajax
That's what I'm saying.
always managed to just stick around in Champions League and disrupt.
They're going to make it.
And if
I'll
they don't
take-
make it to Champions League, they're going to Europa. And I'm going to be honest. Mike,
take-
you and I, our teams are in Europa. I don't want to play Ajax.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on
Well
Ajax.
done.
They're a factory.
I'm good on Ajax.
They've been a factory for a very long time. They pump out players every year. They're gonna have players after this season that's gonna get sold. David Neres, he's out of there.
Ooh, he's out.
The
He
goalkeeper.
looked great, by the
Yeah.
way. I actually remember that. He looked great this game.
Oh, yeah, that goalkeeper.
Yeah, the goalkeeper.
Onana.
Who else? Tagliafico. I don't know. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but
Tagliafico.
Yeah,
Wait, I
Tagliafico,
got to bring
yeah.
that up. Thank you.
Yep.
Onana, the only reason Liverpool scored was an Onana error.
Mm.
Did y'all see that goal?
I did.
Which that never happens.
Fuck. That goal should never have
Wow.
happened.
Yep.
That goal should have never have happened. I'm remembering this now.
He messed up.
I gotta give credit to Curtis Jones here. He finished his run.
Yeah.
The ball came in. Onana just for some reason thought it was going out of bounds and just let it go by. You remember this?
He left space between him and
I
the
think we
goal.
gave Curtis Jones too much credit. We got to give him credit though for finishing his run, but this was not a Ajax should have grabbed these points 100%. And they should have gone in second place here. We may see him in the knockout rounds. Let's move on to Group E. This is Wednesday. We are now in the Wednesday games.
Whoa.
I gotta first admit here, I was wrong. I thought Sevilla were gonna walk away with this one, and boy was I wrong. Wow. Doo-doo Giroud making me look like I'm doo-doo with 4 goals. Chelsea winning over Sevilla 4-0 and had less possession. Love seeing this. 45-55. Sevilla having more shots, 17-14 with 3 shots on target. Chelsea having 7 on target. Gotta say, love seeing the bearded Pulley out there looking great.
Pulley actually looked really good.
I'm going to pass this over to our USMNT youngster pundit, Zach. Give us your thoughts on this.
Yeah, man, as much as I hate Chelsea, when you've got a forward that takes 5 shots and scores 4 of them, it's going to be a real tough day to lose on. And then when it's Olivier Giroud, it's a real bad day to lose on. Hey, but I'll give the guy credit. Each one of those goals, I mean, the PK is a PK.
Right.
But the 3 goals through the run of play are just
Very nice.
they're good goals.
Yeah, they are.
They're good finishes.
Yeah.
And just crossed in, typical number 9, putting his head on him, or just finishing. I think he had one outside the box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I'm trying to
His first
go
goal.
through the replay in my head.
His first goal, he like touched it across his body to his left foot and like
Inside the 18, but
did
like
a fadeaway left-footed shot. It was just it was disgusting. It was like it reminded me of like a Kobe Bryant fadeaway, you know?
Oh yeah. And so hey, he had a good game, and it's the reality is it's between him and Timo Werner at that position, and so if you've got 2 guys that want to compete for Chelsea, that's a great thing to have.
I want to jump in on you. And I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to jump in because I know you 2 guys are big EPL guys. But I have to ask this question. And of course, I need to take a kick in the ass because we always make fun of Dudu Giroud on the show. We always make fun of Chelsea on the show. Hey, hats off, Chelsea.
Hats off.
You proved me wrong.
Yeah.
You not only proved me wrong, but you shoved it in my face,
Yeah.
up my pee hole, and back up my butt. So look, let me ask you guys this: Do you think he needs to start at this point?
Every game.
I think this is a legitimate question we need to start asking.
Sevilla is no joke.
That's tough.
Sevilla is no joke.
Over Tammy Abraham. Go ahead,
That's
Mike.
tough. I mean, I think Frank Lampard has a decision, but he seems to have been kind of set on not playing Giroud, and I'm not sure that changes anytime soon, especially being their position in the league. They're playing well. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But shout out to Giroud, former Arsenal man. Great goals in that game.
Right.
The third one, the chipper, where he chipped it over the goalie, was that was probably my favorite one out of the bunch.
Yeah.
He played well. Score goals like he usually does. Was underappreciated for us, but man, I can't believe this guy's like 35 years old, man.
That's what I'm saying.
He's out here.
Do you start him?
No,
or?
I'm not starting him. No,
Right.
I mean, I don't think Frank started
starting
him.
him.
I don't think Frank started him. I really don't. Not in the league, at least.
He did. Oh, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't even this game. Did he?
Yeah, he started.
He did this
started.
game. He did this game.
He started.
Yeah, he did this game
Didn't even sub. Oh, he did sub out in the 84th for Timo.
after his 4 goals.
Yeah, Giroud with a perfect 10. Pulisic starting on the left of him. From what I saw from Pulisic, just doing what he does best, creating chances for himself. I saw him get some solid shots on goal.
Yep.
Really glad he's back. I know we saw him last get injured. I think it was in a cup game. He pulled a hammy.
FA Cup final.
And he was having a fantastic game, and unfortunately pulled his hammy. Glad to see him back. Looked good. Give him a few more games under his belt. I'm willing to bet we see a hat trick.
He was the best player on the pitch besides Giroud.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. Maybe one of those midfielders. We're looking at the midfield. They all came away with a 7-5, 7-3, 7-6. Granted, 2 of them had assists, but when Giroud's putting those in the back of the net, it makes your job a lot easier. You're just putting balls into the box, and Giroud's just taking care of them.
It's finishing up.
Also, the clean sheet makes that back line look really good, but I got to give credit to the goalkeeper of Chelsea, Mendy.
What a buy.
A phenomenal pickup. Jesus, talk about like a savior for Chelsea. I mean, they go from Kepa to Mendy, who is
Where's Kepa?
Mendy has kept clean sheets consistently in Champions League. I haven't really been paying attention to him in EPL, but
Yeah, he has.
I mean,
yeah.
he's been pulling clean sheets left and right.
He's doing the
better
same
than Kepa.
shit in the league.
Dude's been doing great.
Yeah.
Is he?
He is.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Looking at this
I
group.
mean,
Go ahead, Zach.
no. I was just gonna echo that. Yeah. I think it's a ridiculous stat of like the past 9 out of the last 12 games or something like that. He's had a clean sheet in.
Insane.
Um,
And it's not all the
and-
back line. He's making
Absolutely.
saves.
No, I mean because we talked about this previously. They didn't spend any money on that back line.
Right.
So I mean, you bring in a keeper that does his job and does his job well.
Yeah.
Something they haven't had in a minute.
helps.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a great
That's right.
point.
definitely.
Looking at this table here, it is
yeah.
a great point. It is a great point. And Frankie
It is.
Lampard is I think he got a little lucky with that buy. I think someone in the technical director area saved him. They were like, "Yo, you really got to buy this guy." And they were like, "Okay, let's buy him." And, I mean, 9 out of 12 clean sheets. That's impressive. That's an impressive stat. That's not all your backline. That is a goalkeeper making saves right there. But quickly closing out this group because we can just kind of skim over this next game. Chelsea are in first place with 13. Sevilla are in second with 10. FC Krasnodar is in third with 4. And Rennes in fourth got their first point. Congratulations, Rennes. Rennes.
Really disappointing
Renee.
from them.
They just drew
The whole thing.
from Rennes. Yeah, I know you had Camavinga. We all wanted to see Camavinga do well. He missed a couple of match days. Mike had drafted Camavinga late. Tried to get a little sleeper pick. If I was Krasnodar,
I like
I'm
your
going to
effort.
lock down Camavinga.
I like your effort.
You know?
I like your effort.
I'm going to lock him down. Krasnodar getting their 3 points here. Goalkeeper, man of the match. 1-0 Krasnodar. I didn't watch this one.
You know, I really thought the French were going to put up more of a fight. Moving on.
Moving on. Let's move on to Group F here.
Thought they were just going to fight us till the end.
Group F here is also another table where the front 3 teams are anything can go. Anything can happen at this point. Borussia Dortmund.
And Lazio,
Jeez.
that is an evenly matched team.
Yes, it is.
I watched this game. Dude,
Yeah.
man.
Let's go through this. Borussia Dortmund tied Lazio. Possession 57-43 in favor of Borussia Dortmund. We look at the shots here. 13 shots Borussia Dortmund, 12 shots to Lazio. When we look at the shots on target, 6 shots on target for Lazio, 4 on target for Borussia Dortmund. Haaland
Did not play.
Did not play. I was
Did not
about to
play.
say, where were you at, bro?
I was just saying. So this game I actually I
Good,
took
go,
part
go,
of.
go.
Holland did not play. I'll tell you what. When it comes to Dortmund, the last few games that I've watched with them, I'm super impressed
They played
with
a
the
back
counter
three.
press and the counter attack. It's been impressive. And that's how they scored this game actually.
Yeah.
Counter press. They just caught the keeper. Just no, somebody get out of here. Oh shit, no, it's not getting out of here. Came right back to him, scored really quickly, but Lazio at the same time, the PK they got, it's questionable. It was on the line, number 1, of him being in the box and being out of the box.
Okay.
And then number 2, it was a foul or not a foul. Defender played the ball.
They VAR'd it, right?
They did. But
Okay.
also,
Yeah.
like it was to the point where I think it was Milinkovic Savic he was trying to make a cross over the middle. You can kind of see he was starting to make that dive before there's contact. So, but they still called it a foul.
He anticipated contact.
The defender was out of place, but he did play the ball first. It was sketchy. It was sketchy for me. I don't think you call that one. There was one later that was a handball they should have called, but they didn't.
Man,
so okay, so
inconsistent.
I was gonna say, so I guess that makes it even,
Right.
but at the same time, it makes me pissed off because I don't know if that was a foul or not.
Hmm.
I would have let that go. I would have always went defender's route. I'm a defender. That's just me. But same time, Immobile, he's there. He actually had a great shot on goal off of volley. It was beautiful. Berkey, I think, was man of the match for this for me. I know it doesn't show that here, but Berkey made some unbelievable saves. Lazio probably should have won this game, but it just didn't seem that way. Lots of chances they just didn't finish. Same thing with Dortmund. That's what I said. It was a really evenly matched game. I really would like to see us go to PKs and some overtime, but we didn't get to see it.
OT.
Little OT, but at the same time, Hummels also, I want to throw this out there, he was not good. He was taken off the field. He kind of limped off. He had the ice around the ankle and the foot, limping off. So I don't know.
Hummels?
Yes.
I don't see a sub here. Was this after
This
the game?
was like after the game was over.
Post
so
game.
he was limping his way out. So I don't know if how serious that is. Probably something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, this is crazy because Club Brugge were able to grab a win here. They got 3 points, and now challenging Lazio and Borussia Dortmund. That draw really kind of let Club Brugge sneak in here for both teams. Granted, all three teams are going to continue to move forward, whether it's Champions League knockout or Europa knockout. But Borussia Dortmund here makes you wonder why they didn't play Holland. I'm wondering if maybe there's a Bundesliga game coming up that they need to win.
I think it was a minor injury.
Yeah, I think he has something going on.
Yeah.
Really?
Very minor. I think it was like a hamstring or something like that. They were just trying to be cautious about. But
Yeah, so Borussia Dortmund are in 4th place with 18 points. Bayern are in first for 22, and they play Eintracht Frankfurt. So definitely not a super competitive game here, but makes you. I haven't really been following Group F a lot, so thank you for giving that breakdown here.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
I remember specifically saying Favre was going to be the reason they win or lose this game, and he went back to a fucking 3-back line, right? They've been having so much success with a 4-man back line, and for some reason, Favre decides to go with a 3-man back line. I don't understand this man's his philosophy. You've got the players to do a 4-man back line, and you've got the attackers to do a 3-man front.
Yeah.
Emre Can is back. I know that.
Emre Can's back.
know why
Whistle's
he didn't
back
play.
that he brought off the bench.
Like, what do you?
By the way,
what
Gio.
the fuck is going on over there?
Gio had a great game, but he could have had a better one.
Really?
There was a few times that there was one in particular where he was literally top of the 18. Instead of shooting, he just kind of slided off. You could even look at Favre, and he's just like, shoot. But, I mean, that's one of those young things.
Hot take. I think we see a new coach at Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
I predict
Tuchel?
Jesse Marsch.
Or Marsh. Whoa.
Gentlemen, what are y'all's thoughts on this game? Did y'all happen to catch any highlights or any of the minutes?
I didn't get to see much from the game.
Zach.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's just a little kind of going through and looking at stats. You know, it's good to see. I was trying to check on my phone real quick to see if Sancho had an injury, but it's interesting to see Reina is now starting there. And the other kid that I like seeing is Jude Bellingham. Start there at center mid too.
Fantasy.
Can't. Got him in fantasy.
But man, you look at even the subs they made, and Axel Witsel, Julian Brandt, and Sancho. Dortmund is just a powerhouse with young talent, man. It's so impressive to kind of see it keeps coming through and coming through. But I think this game too. It's I know where you're at with the 4-man back line, but a lot of it could just be mitigating a lot of risk. You know, with a point there, sitting top of the table.
Fair.
They're through.
It's not totally certain, but when we look at the next match day,
Yeah, I mean, they
Borussia-
play Zenit,
right,
Yeah.
who are bottom of the
so
table.
I mean,
so
a point secures them.
Yep.
Because the game of that group is going to be Lazio and Bruges.
correct.
Coming down to the last day. But
Yeah, I agree.
Dortmund will be fine. I'm not too
Right.
concerned. I get where you're coming out with a 3-man back line.
It's just frustrating to see the success.
Every time he's done it, I don't mean to interrupt you. Every time he's done it, just it hasn't been where like we've seen them be.
Well, we've seen the success with the 3-man backline when they had Hakimi and Guerrero as your outside midfielders, but they lose Hakimi, and it's like, okay, you don't have the same quality on both sides of the field. You may need to adapt. He did to a 4-man backline where you had Meunier and Guerrero as your left and right back, and it worked. And it did really well. Because he played Lazio the first time with the 3-man backline and got spanked.
Yeah,
3-1, 3-0.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at he's going to do it again, but throughout the entire group stage prior to this Lazio game, he's been using the 4-man backline, and he's won his game. So you're sitting there and you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude, just keep
I don't
rolling.
get
It's
it.
working
I
sometimes.
don't get it. Anyway, moving on to the other side of this group, Group F, Club Bruges. I think you and I both picked Club Bruges. We were clubbing, raising the roof
Love
here.
Club Bruges.
Club.
Zenit, thank you for playing. You're officially out.
Yes, 3-0.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It actually, you know how they say it's been a pleasure? Well, it hasn't. See you later. That's a Walter White quote for you, ladies and gentlemen, for you Breaking Bad fans out there. Old Mike, you know, it's been a pleasure. Well, it hasn't. So get the fuck out. Let's move on. Let's move on. I want to talk Juve.
Yeah, good.
I want to talk
good.
Juve.
Okay, Group F, we already
Let's do it.
know.
Let's do it.
Club Bruges are fighting to get a Europa spot against Club Borussia Dortmund and Lazio.
And this is an easy one we can run through as well. Sorry, folks.
No, that's fine.
We're going to run through Juve, run over Dynamo, and Barca, run over Ferencváros. Got to do it. Got to do it.
So close.
Got to do it.
Ferencváros. There we go.
Ferencváros.
You're getting there.
I'm getting that Hungarian life. Yes. Bring me to the brothels. Barcelona with a 3-0 win against Ferencváros.
Griezmann looking like a brand new player.
No Messi, by the way. Throw
No
it out
mess. No mess. Also, got to give a shout out to Dembele with the man of the match with a 9-0, an assist and a PK goal. Barcelona coming out with 60. We'll give Barcelona the point here. 63% to 37, and having 19 shots against 10, with 5 of their shots on target. So converting 3 out of their 5 shots on target. That is a fantastic percentage here. Again, as we said, Dembele with the man of the match with a 9-0. From what I saw, I was able to catch a couple of minutes here. It's hard to do this. You know, these games are played during the middle of the day. But Dembele down the left side with Alaba outside of him. So much freedom from Dembele to do what he wants and to excel.
Yep.
This was the first time I've seen Dembele really
Look like he has since Dortmund.
the confidence. There was so much confidence in his ability and his play,
Yep.
and he was such a terror for Ferencváros to defend. I mean, he was doing whatever he wanted. Not to mention Braithwaite and Griezmann making great runs into the box.
Griezmann playing the position that he should be playing.
Yeah, I love this position for Griezmann. Second striker, center attacking mid. As well as Busquets and Pjanic. I like the old double pivot here. You know, the 30-plus-year-olds.
Yep.
Just sitting back, like, well, we got this. We got Trincao, Griezmann, Dembele, Braithwaite. You know, you got all these players just like, we'll feed you guys. Just make runs. Not to mention Serginho Dest on the outside, Alaba on the outside. Just you just get all these youth just going forward. Just make space. We'll find you. And
the Griezmann right there, that's the number one. That's the France position that he plays. So that we got to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Secondly, that's like the rebound. Like, I'll be there. I'm gonna finish it.
Look at this
Kind of position. Look at the heat map.
Gross.
Gross. You see how hot that is?
That's hot.
You You see how hot that is?
That's hot.
That's Griezmann finishing everybody else's missed shots.
That's a lot of Serginho Dest down here as well.
Dest.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
I got to give a lot of credit to
Yep.
Dest right there.
Yep.
Let's pass it over. I love passing over to Zach right here to talk about the Americans. Zach,
Yeah,
what are
throw
your
some
thoughts?
Dest. Throw some Dest for us.
Yeah, I mean, Dest again had another, quality game. Like, he doesn't look lost out there with his team, which is great to see. I mean, he's 19, and doesn't look lost. Now, we do have to take in consideration who they're playing.
True. Very true.
But it only builds confidence. So again, like you saw on the heat map, a lot of action on his side. And I will say, an interesting thing I saw was, a lot of Barcelona fans are not sold on Trincao. And it's interesting to see that Conrad has gone out there to replace him. And they're from what I've seen some Barcelona, just talks and back and forth, they're not panicked that Conrad's the one going out there, which is interesting to see. I know with the U.S. national team, we wanted to see a little bit more, but I think him playing for Barcelona is a decent deal.
Yeah.
Especially an attacking player at that caliber playing for Barcelona. But again, Barcelona's in this awkward position now, aren't they? Of this isn't the Barcelona of old, so it's hopefully these pieces are in place in Dest. From an American perspective, obviously Dest and Conrad, and maybe they're pieces going forward that they can build on and flourish within this system. So hopefully that's what we'll see, just from that perspective. But again, I thought Dest, again, Barcelona had a solid game, but that's also trying to take in consideration the competition they're playing. Like you said, even it was good to see Dembele play the way he should. Now can we see that day in and day out in La Liga?
Right.
And then day in, day out in this, round of 16.
I'm glad you pointed that out because we think about Dembele, at least, the hardcore soccer fans like yourself. We think about when Dembele was going up, back at fucking Dortmund.
Yeah.
He was killing it. He had the cross, he had the little step overs, and he was taking people on one-on-one. You don't see that confidence anymore as much at Barcelona. And
that game you did.
Yeah, that game he's here.
Maybe it took an opponent like Ferencváros
to put that back in.
To pull it out, to put it back inside of him.
Yep. And they gave him the penalty too here and the assist.
Yeah, going forward, I would love to see that Dembele that we saw at Borussia Dortmund.
Yes.
I think that would be so, and that would be such a lucky break for Barcelona because we've seen Dembele from when they first bought him, and he's really just been a letdown. He's been mediocre.
Mediocre as hell.
And like Zach said, we really have to gauge the opponent here, right? This is a team that's just happy to be here. It's Champions League. It's happy to be here. But looking forward, I think this is definitely an uplifting sign for Barcelona. I'm gonna quickly look up the La Liga table. Barcelona, not in the top 5.
Yikes!
In 7th place.
I think
they going to Europa next year?
Whoa!
How about that?
Without Messi, probably.
Oh,
well, I'll tell you what. That's a good point. This is a tricky year for Barcelona because there's rumors that Messi might even go in January.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that too, especially with what I saw today. I think their interim president came out and said, "Listen, because the players are not going to be paid in January." That came out today, and the interim president came out and said, "Listen, they're not being paid in January. We're in a financial struggle right now. We should have sold Messi."
Yes, what? We all knew this. We all fucking knew this.
So,
dude, Man City offered you a fucking get-out-of-jail-free card, and you fucking passed.
You didn't take it.
Gabriel Jesus, Bernardo Silva, Diaz, and $100 million, and you said, we're good.
Nope.
Fuck you, Barcelona. Deserve.
That's why you deserve to be in 10th place.
Except Destin Conrad, but everybody else.
Right, yeah. Love Dest there.
Yeah. Dest needs to keep it up.
See, even if Barcelona finished, 15th, I'd still be happy for Dest because he's playing in La Liga.
Well, I tell you what was cool to see is they quoted him this week of saying, were you nervous about coming to Barcelona? He was like, no, if I was nervous, I shouldn't be here.
Right.
I was like, I love it.
Fuck yeah. I'm so glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. I remember seeing that as well. With that being said, I hate to just continue down the downfall of Barcelona, but
It would be fun, but we gotta get on.
let's move on. My fellow co-host here is wearing his favorite team's jersey. Let's move on to it. Juve
I got a Wes McKinney jersey on right now, ladies and gentlemen.
beating Dynamo Kiev 3-0. Let's look at the possession. 53-47% possession. 17 shots for the old lady. Juve against 7 with 7 of their shots on target, converting 3 out of the 7. Man of the match, Booty, before we get into it, who would you give it to?
I would give it to Chiesa.
Me too.
And I didn't. Number one, I came over here before we did anything. Before we even took the mixologist exams.
Yeah.
Earlier.
They fucked us up.
I said, dude, I'll tell you what. If anybody's gonna be man of that match that game, I'm giving it to Chiesa. We see it is here. The one-on-ones with this man are ridiculous.
He's insane.
I
One
gotta
of the
give
best
him
in
credit.
Europe.
He's one of the best. Yes, he's one of the best just one-on-ones lately. And you don't see that anymore. You see it a lot with Messi. You see it a lot with Ronaldo. You don't see it as much lately.
Yeah.
But this guy, unbelievable. He had the first goal of this match. He had, I would say, the assist. Yeah, they gave him the assist. Okay, it was a weird second goal to Morata/Ronaldo. Actually, they gave him the third assist. He should have probably had the second assist as well, but it was deflected off of Morata and to Ronaldo.
Gotcha.
It was weird.
So he was just in. He had his fingerprints over all 3 goals.
He was always just down the flank, man. It was really, really fun to watch. At the same time, our boy McKinney got the start. And I'll tell you what, McKinney has not had a bad game for Juventus yet. Somebody come find me if you don't believe me. We're at Footy Fetish Show. Please come find me. He has it. He's been inserted in this lineup and he's looked phenomenal. Juventus went with a 3-man back, but this is all Pirlo going Pirlo.
Yo,
okay, it's like baby going baby, but it's Pirlo going Pirlo. It is possession. It is midfielders. It is gaps, find the spaces, and we just run the wings and we just make crosses, and it's working. It's working. Now I'll tell you what, it's not technically working right now where they're at in Serie A.
Whoa,
but,
you say Serie A? Where they are? Who's in first?
But there's some team from Milan. Is it Inter or is some team? I don't know.
It's the red and black. That's who it is.
It's some team.
Let me get it straight.
It's some team.
It's red and black,
It's
not
some-
blue and black. It's
It's
red.
a team.
We're red and black.
I'm very excited to see those two link up. They've been really fun to watch, but
They have been.
at the same time, this man is still trying to really. I feel like he's still trying to find where he wants to be with this team.
You know what I liked with one of his post-game conferences or interviews? He says, "I'm not nervous about what the media says. I'm used to it.
Yeah,
I've gone through this. I was a player in the past. The media is gonna say what they're gonna say. You can't control it. You just got to play your game. You got to do your best."
He whipped his hair back.
He whipped his hair. He did the hair flip. What did you say?
Yes. Huh?
Look at my beautiful hair. Looking at this lineup, I love this lineup. 3-5-2.
Morata's been on fire.
Looking at the 3 center mids is where I love looking at the center of these formations. McKinney and Bentancur, for me, are perfect double pivot partners, allowing Ramsey to be that center attacking mid. And then you've got Sandro and Chiesa. Sandro, for me, is a better left wing back than a left back.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as Chiesa, his time at Fiorentina, they've really groomed him to play as a right wing back as opposed to a right winger.
Which Sandro hasn't been featured, by the way. This is the first game he's been featured in a second.
Really?
Yeah, a couple games.
I thought there was a point where I remember Sandro, or maybe it was Danilo, but it was either Sandro or Danilo matched up with Chiesa.
Yep.
And I remember that just being one of the worst combinations ever.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't find Chiesa open as a left winger or a left forward. So now it's I mean, you give Chiesa the freedom and the space to just explore the right wing.
Yep.
And look what he does. He gets a goal and an assist and then has his fingerprints on the third goal. Gets a 9-1 player of the match easily. If anyone saw this game, it was obvious that Chiesa was the most influential player here. Really like what I saw. Go ahead, Zach.
So let me ask Booty and probably Gunnar Mike on this too, because I've not watched this game yet. It's on my list for the weekend. we look at those ratings, and I'm looking at the ratings on my app as well. You see McKinney, and was it say the number 30 again? His name, Bentancur.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bentancur. And then you see Ramsey sitting there with a 6-7.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that more of not watching the match? Is that more of a the ball just didn't flow to him, or is that more of he's out of place there? And let me ask you this, and then I'll hang up and be quiet. What happens if Pogba comes back to this lineup?
Woo! I like where your head's at. Because that's happening. Mike, what do you think?
I didn't see much of the game. The only thing I can imagine is maybe Ramsey had a couple misplaced passes or maybe things of that nature. Because I know he's a midfielder that likes to get forward, score goals, or at least try to score goals. Like I said, I didn't see the game. I didn't, so I'm not too sure what he was out here doing mostly. But I gotta imagine he probably lost some possession. He's good for that.
Yeah, and I like Ramsey.
He's a good player.
Even being an Arsenal player, I like Ramsey a lot. I just haven't seen him flourish as much as I'd like to see at Juve.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right, Zach. He's been one of those players like, dude, I liked him everywhere he's been, but so far, of course, like I have him under a microscope here.
Yeah.
Of course. It just hasn't like worked out the way I really expected it to. You take him out, put Pogba in, baby, we're fine. Put Pogba back in where he belongs. Back home, okay? With his former player / coach now. His former guy he used to play with Ronaldo too, feeding balls. Who knows? Like this, they need to find a way to bring him back. But it's all going to depend on Man U dropping the price, and we know,
which they already have.
I was going to say it's been dropped recently. If I'm not mistaken, there was a clause in the contract when they sold him as well that they can buy him back for a certain price as well if they really wanted to. Okay. That's something worth looking up. I can't tell you the exact numbers, but I can tell you that that's a legit thing. They put something in the clause where if something didn't work out, he's on his way back. And I think it was all because Pogba, this is home to him.
Yeah.
So that would be a really sexy thing for me. I miss Pogba scoring goals. I never understood the whole defensive midfield with him. I don't get that. That was not a thing.
No, I agree.
It was never a thing. I don't understand who invented it. You should be shot. So
and he probably had one of the most prettiest misses that the other day in that game against PSG. I mean, good God, I thought that shit was humming. I'm like, yo, that's the prettiest miss I've seen in 2020.
Touch, you saw it? The one touch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
One touch volley. It was reminiscent of his Juve days when he used to smack those balls from like 40 out, and you just see him hit that wild dip, and you're like, oh my God.
It's never been something I understood, dude. It's something like he plays an attacking mid for France. He played it for Juve. I don't understand why they don't incorporate him with Bruno some kind of way, like further up the field.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think this is a good segue. Should we? I mean, both of these games in Group H here are really great to cover. Yeah. I think let's segue into Man U and Pogba.
Got to.
We've got a unfortunate result for Zach here. Man U losing 1-3 against PSG here. Looking at possession, we've got 56% possession to PSG, 44 to Man U. Evenly on shots, 13 to PSG, 12 to Man U, with 5 on target for Man U and 6 on target for PSG. Very even match. The possession for me is not enough to make it a lopsided game as well as shots on target. I'm going to just immediately pass it to Zach here. Zach, give us your thoughts on this game here.
So let's roll through it. You see the goal by Neymar.
Yeah.
I'll even go back a little bit further. Okay, we know what the end result was with Fred in this game.
Yeah.
The reality is Fred should have been sitting on a yellow card at least by the 11th minute.
Wow.
3 fouls in the first 11 minutes, 2 of which should be yellows out of the gate. I think he had one in like 26 seconds that he should have been carded for. So kind of moving there, and we'll get more into that. The Neymar goal is frustrating. It's De Gea is one of these keepers that likes to make saves with his feet. Problem is, if you don't do it, you look real bad. And I don't know if you guys were able to see the goal. That goal looks real bad.
Nobody covering.
It's Neymar having no angle near post and just smashes it across the goal and just goes in between the gap of De Gea's hands and his feet because he looks like Sasquatch walking in the forest when he does that.
Nobody ready.
Um, yeah, it's frustrating. Then we kind of roll into like Fred's first yellow. I thought was deserved, but I thought was very frustrating that you didn't see um, Paredes get a yellow as well for the instigation of it. The yellow was basically based off of a headbutt potential, and you saw two players come together. You had PSG's Paredes, lean in with his head, and then Fred lean in as well and just kind of swipe. To me, it's neither of that's a red card, but at least it should have been two yellows for both players for instigating. And then you've got Rashford scoring in an unconventional fashion. Just blasting the ball. It takes a deflection, goes in, which is what you want to see. But my issue, Rashford did not look like a player this game. He looked very pedestrian. I can remember at least 2 or 3 incidents where he was just moved off the ball. And you don't see that a lot with Marcus Rashford. He goes around and beats you and uses muscle, but he looked very pedestrian this game, which was frustrating to see just as a fan. Martial, second half, misses 2 sitters early on. I'll give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. He misses 1 sitter, and the other one's a difficult finish, but it's still a finish for his quality that he needs to bag. And then you've got the added side to that now for PSG. They get a goal from Marquinhos, which I think all of us, especially me and Gunnar Mike being EPL guys, we look at that. I don't know if he had a chance to see it, but like if that's the EPL, that's being
Oh
reviewed for
man,
VAR and coming back.
VAR for about 5
Uh,
minutes, man. We looking at it.
Yeah, and then it's coming back.
Yeah.
But no VAR, interestingly, on that one. And then 26 seconds later, Fred loses the ball in possession and sticks his foot out like an idiot and gets called for the foul. And that's his second yellow. Personally, from me looking at it, I think that yellow was coming regardless. I think that yellow was a makeup call for an earlier yellow that he should have gotten. Where Paredes got the yellow when Paredes got stomped on by Fred, but Fred somehow gets the call, and I think the ref was looking to bring out that yellow again because Fred was a walking red card, and the issue to me that goes to Ollie's. He's got to have better game management.
Fred's got
there
reds.
Yeah. And then it's a bit frustrated with Ollie this game and his game management and even his substitutions being down a player. How you don't swap out Fred for a Donny van der Beek at half is confusing because you've already got Mikitome out there. I understand not wanting to pair Mikitome and Matic because they're essentially the same player. And I think you give up some speed in the midfield when you pair them together. But then bring in Donny van der Beek then. Because if you're nursing Paul Pogba's ankle again, and you want to see him only get about 15, 20 minutes at best, put the kid in.
I'm glad you said that because I was watching this game and I'm like, oh, cool, you brought in Van de Beek and Pogba in the 80th? Close to 80th?
Started in the 74th.
74th?
Yeah.
Why are they just not starting?
So I know Pogba is dealing with an ankle injury still. And so that's been an ongoing thing. And I think not having any downtime in between seasons has probably hurt his progress with that. I'll give Paul Pogba the benefit of the doubt. I like him as a player. I think he's got potential to be world class. I just unfortunately think it's got to be with another club. As a fan, I'd love to see him be the Pogba he was at Juve, but you just don't see that brightness to him as a player right now. And like you touched on earlier, it's at one point Mourinho had him playing a defensive mid. which didn't make a ton of sense, and you saw the repercussions of that. But that's kind of my take on it. The only other thing I had was I think this game was poorly officiated overall. Not that I don't think it would have had any effect on, who won the game, because I think that's a deserved result. But it's frustrating. Yeah, this group is tight.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm,
what- that's
I'm
what he was
just-
just
I'm
looking
looking
at.
at the group just now. We look at the first, second, and third. This is one of the tightest groups. We've been saying that this is the group that potentially rivals Group B as far as the group of death. First, second, and third, Man U, PSG, RB Leipzig, all tied with 9 points
9.
going into match day 6. This one's up for grabs. And when we look at match day 6, who's playing who? Man U playing RB Leipzig. So that's the game that, I mean,
We're going to make fun of Zach, or we're not going to make fun of Zach?
I don't know what to
they
expect.
tied that way. Tyler Adams is in the knockout round.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. That's
What
a
if
good
Tyler Adams scores the goal
Point. Oh,
to put them in?
you just
What do you-
wish that
Don't
into
go to-
existence, man.
It's like we talked. What's tough for me right now is I think Ollie's a good manager, but he's got to have good assistants, which I think he does.
Yeah.
But the flip side is it's that like the thing that's being dangled out in front of you is if Ollie leaves, who's going to come in?
Yeah,
That's
that. Oh,
He needs to stay. I think he's a good coach, and they keep going on this bullshit of let me fire a coach. And honestly, all those coaches were phenomenal coaches. It's the front office that's the problem.
yep.
and that's where I 1,000% agree with you. The front office is a hot garbage roasting can.
Ole is exactly what you want.
Yep.
He's a hero.
He's got
a
a
he's a
decent
fucking
record,
hero.
too.
He's a hero.
He's doing great. He's doing
He
great.
Yeah,
put
what's
fucking
frustrating-
he put fucking Bayern Munich to sleep in the fucking Champions League final in the 90th minute for Manchester United. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that is.
That's
And-
fucking
and what's-
amazing.
What's frustrating is maybe it's the time we're in, just as everything's got to be instant.
Yep.
And you even look at the greatest manager of all time for me is probably Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very close.
His
It's hard
career
to-
was built over, what is it, 22, 23 years. His first 2 seasons were not good. Like, United wasn't good. But they stayed with him, believed in what he was trying to do, and the guy wins you, 3 Champions Leagues and 19 titles?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, and that's where I think Ollie's got a good staff around him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Ferguson's right-hand man, who was with him all those years. And he's got Michael Carrick, which will be interesting to see how he develops as an assistant coach. He's a smart guy, so it's. I just want them to take time and not, like I said, sell off Pogba. I like the guy as a player, I do, I really do, but I don't think it's in a United uniform. So sell him off, get the money we can get from there, plug in Van der Beek, who I think is going to be really good. Get rid of Fred, because Fred gives you nothing. And build that midfield the way it is, because they've got all the attacking talent in the world.
Yeah.
And their back line is actually good. It's actually good. Aside from, somebody grabbing a player and holding him down while the other team scores, it's actually good.
Okay, how about a Dybala Pogba plus cash swap?
Oof.
How about
I've already
that?
done it in my FIFA lineup.
You like that? Yes, it's done. It's a
Already
done
done it.
deal.
Damn,
Done deal.
That's funny.
Done deal.
I gotta say, bring it on just to piggyback on what you're saying on Ole Gunnar. If you compare where Ole Gunnar is right now to where Jurgen Klopp was at
He's
Liverpool,
a better record.
he's doing better.
Yep.
And you just look at what Klopp has done with Liverpool. I feel like he had lower expectations because everyone kind of laughed at Liverpool, and it was like, yeah, okay, you're doing all right, Klopp. He finishes second behind Man City by probably one of the best second-place teams we've ever seen in the EPL.
And see, nobody cared.
And nobody cared. And then all of a sudden, he goes and wins the league during pandemic, and it's like,
And now, pigs
whatever.
on your back.
Yeah. So, you look at Ole Gunnar, and man, for me, Arsenal, Man U, Tottenham, these are teams for me that I can see being in the top 4 going forward. I feel like Liverpool
Jose.
are going to be falling out of that top 4 because of injuries. That's unfortunate. Man City, same thing. I feel like we're going to see a changing of the guard, and that's what I love about the EPL so much is that the winner of the EPL is constantly changing, and I feel like we're going to be seeing that going forward.
You know, we got to constantly change to this next game because this was the game.
I want to see Zach close
Yeah,
out. Also,
Zach,
I want
close
to
us
see if
out.
Mike's got any closing comments.
Close us out.
Mike, give us your. Zach, give us some closing comments for your team.
Yeah, I think just going to piggyback real quick on what you said. I don't think you can compare Ollie and Klopp. I mean, that's going to be a longer discussion for another podcast
True.
overall. But you're talking about someone who's bringing in a philosophy of how to play versus someone who is nurturing a club philosophy that's already instilled. So I think you have to be careful there on comparing them on that. But hey, I think this group is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Next week, and you could hear me throwing things
Yeah.
at the walls, and it could be interesting.
Mike, we know that you love Manchester United, so tell us all about it.
Yeah, as far as the game goes, I mean, it's probably a fair result to PSG. That last goal by Neymar, I mean, it was an incredible effort from him as far as from the build up to the end result. When they picked the ball up and you just kept, it was great. But as far as United as a whole, I mean, you can't keep changing managers, right? Like you can't do it. At some point, you really got to buckle down with somebody, believe in them, and you got to rock out. It's just what it is. I think Ole's I hope they keep him in there. I think they got a very talented team over there. It's just a matter of putting it together. It's a tough league, obviously. No breaks. Every week you got to bring it. I do think that they could probably upgrade at the center back position a little bit. Lindelof, I don't know. I don't know, man. And it was Harry Maguire $80 million?
No.
Nope.
But yes.
No, but yes.
They
I'll
should.
be honest with you. I thought about this today, man, on Lindelof. I was like, when's the last time he's had a
fair
bad
enough.
game?
Istanbul.
Mm.
Didn't they
All right,
lose
fine.
Istanbul?
I wasn't expecting that. That's fair.
Oh, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean last game?
Yeah.
Go buy Ube
Stop,
Meccano.
dude, stop.
Straight
I
up,
hope
dude.
so, man.
get ahead of get ahead of Liverpool.
On the Meccano train since last season.
Get ahead of
bro.
Liverpool. It's
It
because
is,
of
man.
Mike's fault.
Yeah.
Get ahead of Liverpool. Get ahead of Arsenal. Just fucking pay the money. Sell Pogba and buy Ube Meccano. I think you'd be all right.
Pogba to
We'll try to
Real.
follow.
Pogba to Real.
No, only back to Juve.
Hot take.
Back to Juve. Cash swap. Take that ball.
I think with Real and Barcelona, I think more so with Real, you're going to see a continuous decline of players wanting to play for Real. I think it is not the lustrous team.
Because
They're
Ronaldo
gonna
don't play
have
for him
to
anymore.
Right away, through FIFA Fair Play, to splash a ton of cash to get that brand back up.
When they bought Ronaldo, they also bought Kaká, and I feel like they bought Benzema.
Yeah, they went crazy
spent
for a minute.
$250 million.
And they still had Beckham at the time too, right?
No.
He was
Beckham
gone
was
by
over
then?
at Milan.
He's gone by then.
Yeah. And it was funny. I remember reading about this. I think it was like around 2008 or 2009. They had made like 70% back on jersey sales
It's ridiculous.
after buying those players, which is insane. But I agree with you. I don't think we'll see that kind of money splashed. That being said, I got to quickly bring back Verratti is back in form.
He's back.
He was the player that PSG were missing in the Champions League final. Mbappe and Neymar are clicking, as well as Keane. I think Keane is the best thing to happen to PSG. They finally have a number 9 that is mobile and can play technical ball as well as attack the ball in the air and on the ground. He is the player I think that Mbappe and Neymar are missing. That being said, there's lots of rumors of Messi going to PSG. I don't know what to expect with PSG going forward. They certainly need midfield help. Verratti is he needs help. And Paredes are not the players to get you to the Champions League final again. They got lucky. I think they got lucky last year. Marquinhos, glad to see him back at center back. That's where he belongs. That's where he's best at. Kimpembe didn't play his best game, but Marquinhos really kind of saving the day for him. With that being said, anybody any more thoughts? I want to move on to this next game here.
This next game
Was a fucking firecracker. This was the best game of match day 5.
If you didn't see it, please
by far.
Take an hour and a half out of your day.
Gosh,
take an hour and a half out of your day.
I gotta say this guy's name, Kaveci. Irfan Khan Kaveci with the Hattie, putting RB Leipzig on their heels.
Man.
Incredible performance by both teams. I gotta give credit to the manager here, because Surloth subbed in for Emil Forsberg. Forsberg hits the post in the 65th. Or he hits the post earlier in the game, and for some reason Nagelman's like, "Nah, get out.
Get out.
I got somebody else that can come in." And the man that he subs in scores a winning goal that keeps them alive, keeps them in 9 points. Let me get down to this breakdown real quick.
I was going to say, look, quick breakdown before. I'm going to give you the score real quick.
Do it. Go for it.
4-3, RB Leipzig with an 85th minute goal or 86th minute goal by Istanbul to tie it, and then a game winner in fucking extra time.
Oh, love it.
Hugh's going to break it down more. I just want to put it out there for you.
Yeah.
It's a 4-3 win by RB Leipzig, and it only makes me believe in RB Leipzig a little bit more in this group.
This game, it was 3-1 at one point.
Whoa.
And Istanbul came back and tied it 3-3 in the 85th. RB winning it in the 91st. This is a 54 to 46% possession. RB Leipzig with 20 shots.
Unbelievable.
To 9 on Istanbul. Love to see that they were at least trying. RB Leipzig was 7 on target. Istanbul 4 on target. This game was so much fun to watch.
Bonkers.
It was bonkers. I'm giving the man of the match to Kaveci. Even though they lost, the man put the team on his back, getting 3 goals.
Put team on his back.
In the run of play, off of a free kick, that left foot. If this guy has got any youth left in him, he's going to be bought. I'm going to go buy this player if I'm one of these top teams.
Put team on his back. Darren Sharper, hold my dick. Put team on his back.
Hold my dick.
Hold my dick. Like, dude.
This was such an incredible game. But at the end of the day, it's all about who wins. And Julian Nagelsmann, another coach, kind of like Jesse Marsch, I could see going somewhere else. And being a bigger, better player, being a bigger, better coach at a better club with better players. He's making RB Leipzig relevant in Champions League. I mean, they finished in the top 4 last year. They're relevant in Bundesliga, and it's one of these teams that are constantly shuffling players. You know, we just saw him lose Timo Werner, but it doesn't matter. You know, he's got Poulsen in there. They just bought Danny Olmo, who had a great game. Forsberg as well. Played well. Could have won the game easily for him, but, missed his opportunities. And then I really we got to give a shout-out to Gunnar Mike here. Upamecano is one of the best center backs in the game, but he is shadowing this other guy, Konate, who is basically the same player.
And they almost have the same stature, and they almost look alike.
It is crazy how similar they are. I'm gonna give the tilt to Upamecano just for his ability to penetrate on the dribble going forward. He has that confidence. He has that ability. And then we can't forget Angelino. Shout out. Picked him up in fantasy. This dude has been killing it in Champions League and was very instrumental in this RB Leipzig win. I gotta pass it off. I've been talking too much. Who wants to keep going here?
One of these two need to.
Did any of you watch this game here?
Yeah, I had a chance to watch it. It was a lot of fun, man. It was both teams going for it and just opening it up and just going. And like you said, Kavache just the dude didn't miss on the break, man. It was a good counterattack. You know, you thought Demba Ba was going to be the threat, because he has been their threat, but he's able to lay it off and just. It was a lot of fun to kind of go back and forth, only having a little dog in the race with Tyler Adams getting in the second half. But just as someone, like you said, if you got 90 minutes and you want to watch a game, this is a really fun one to go and watch.
Oh,
Love it, and you should.
A lot of fun to watch.
And you should.
Oh,
You
no,
have
no,
something to say about
man.
it?
You know, shout out to future Arsenal player Upamecano, man. That's all I got to say, man. Future Arsenal center back, man. That's all I got to say, man.
Well,
Hey, Mike,
look,
if he goes to Arsenal, I will buy you a free Upamecano Arsenal kit.
but it's gonna say free Upamecano.
No, it's going to say Upamecano,
Yes.
but it might say free Upamecano. I'm going to get you a
Like,
free
why would you
kit.
want to
Hey,
go
man. Hey,
League to the
hey.
Europa League?
Hey, man.
Yes.
It's Premier League, man. It's Arsenal, man. We paying, baby. We paying, man.
You know that's a team that's gonna pay.
Love the banter. Love it.
Love it,
Love the banter.
gentlemen. I want to talk more about this game, but we need to close this out.
Real
We
quick,
need to
let's
close
just
it
break
out.
down this group. Group
Please
H.
do.
Man U, PSG, RB Leipzig,
Oh my
all tied
God.
with 9 points. This
It's a
is gonna be
69 group.
crazy. This is going to be such a crazy group. Real quick, the
my
next
God.
game, who plays who? Oh, it's Man U are
God.
playing RB
That's gonna be
Leipzig.
Oh my God.
Whew, PSG playing Istanbul.
Oh,
Istanbul could catch one back on PSG.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Woo-wee. Yes, PSG, all they got to do is tie or win, and they will advance into the knockout rounds.
It's sexy because they don't have anything to lose. They're gonna throw everybody up front. Let's roll. Let's
If
fucking
RB
roll.
Leipzig and Man U tie and PSG lose,
Wow.
PSG in Europa. Hey now. Woo! All that money to go sit in Europa. I'd hate to play him. Just saying, as a Man U fan, as a
Yeah.
Milan fan, and
That
an
doesn't need to
Arsenal
happen.
fan over there, I'd hate to play. You
It's
know
just
what?
a fan.
Any three of those
Absolutely.
teams, I don't want to play in Europa, and it's gonna happen. So fuck.
That would make Messi
Yeah.
not go to PSG.
That's true.
So.
No.
That's
Whoa.
really good point.
Damn. That's for real.
Whoa. Whoa.
That's for real.
Whoa.
That's for real.
Hey, let's close it out, shall we?
close it out.
Gentlemen, you want to close it out? Let's close it out. Let's close it out.
close
We've been
it
going too crazy. If not, we'll talk about soccer all goddamn night. I got a wife, goddamn it. I got kids. They're cats. They have hair on them.
You got fur babies.
Got fur babies. I'll tell you what,
Warzone play.
guys. Are you guys into Jesus? You
Just
guys,
say,
are you guys
say
into
yes.
Jesus?
Say yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude,
We're
let me
all- we're all
let me
into
open my
Jesus.
Bible right quick.
it up.
Hold on.
Flip, 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 flip.
The Gospel according to Footy Fetish. Google. Yep, there it is. Bing. It's come that time where we need to give a shout out to everybody that we love and we support, no matter what. Depends on if it's soccer or not. Doesn't matter. Gentlemen.
I'll go first.
Oh, excuse me. Ocho wants to go first.
I'm super excited about this.
Ocho's
one.
going first. Go ahead.
I'm going to keep this going. We've been shouting him out for a couple episodes. I got to give another shout out to Maradona. Rest in peace. We've done this already for a few episodes, but I don't think we can do this enough. You know, he passed away so early, 60 years old. I think it was 1960 to 2020.
Yeah, straight 50.
Just, you know,
Or straight
I
60.
said this
Straight
on
60.
Facebook. Didn't live the most exemplary life, but boy, did he make an impact. Oh. Boy, did he make an impact on so many people's lives and spreading so many smiles and inspiring so many generations. We definitely lost a GOAT. So
He was one of those people as well that you have to it has to be thrown out there that a lot of the things that we saw him, like, it was posted about, he's one of the greatest players of all time. There wasn't a lot of, like, stats thrown out there about him. It was just pictures of him, like, enjoying himself and enjoying his life,
with the World Cup
enjoying his
trophy.
family.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was always like just a great person. And he just did it to the max, and there wasn't anybody going to tell him how to live his life.
Good.
So
Love that.
So that's how that is. Let's go to who should we point out next?
Pick
Let's
one.
see. You know what? Gunner Mike, give me a shout out.
I'm a piggyback off the Maradona thing, man. Shout out to Napoli for renaming the stadium after him.
Nice.
That was really a
Yeah.
classy move. Obviously, he's a legend there, and really got his teeth in the game there, and so on and so forth. So, shout out to Napoli.
I recently found out that you cannot name a stadium after a player until they've died.
Wow.
Because of, I think it's because of naming rights
Right.
Didn't know that.
or something like that. It becomes more respect than pay me for using my name kind of thing.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, it's only in Italy, I believe, that happens. That you can name a stadium after a player after they've passed away.
I want to go pass away tomorrow.
Great shout out. I would not have said that had you not mentioned that. So thank you, Mike.
By the way, this is our wife joining us, ladies and gentlemen.
Our
She's
wife.
yes,
How you
this is
doing?
true.
Our wife.
This is our wife.
Our
She is here on the show. You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
First appearance.
First
Kimmy
appearance.
Wells Booty on the
Oh
Footy
my
Fetish
goodness
Show.
gracious! Hello.
Wow, and
She's here to be my designated driver.
Nice.
good because we've had quite a
Choice.
few cocktails. As you
Yes.
can see.
I've had quite a few cocks and a lot of tails. So here I am. She's taking me home. You see, she's looking up in the heavens for inspiration.
Oh my goodness.
Don't look down for desperation.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Zach, why don't you give us your shout out real quick?
Man, I'm gonna stay on the train.
Good.
I think it's got to be Maradona too, man. I think one of my struggles now with soccer is you don't have as many characters in the game anymore. And like you said, like you touched on, he wasn't a perfect person, but he had a passion about the game that you saw through and through, man. I had a chance as everybody's posting kind of the memories of Maradona and things like that. You know, one of my favorite videos I saw of him was just him training by himself and how much fun he was having. And that's what you want to show kids as a coach. Like, hey, man, this is why we do it. It's not about playing at an elite level club. It's not about paying all this money. At the end of the day, you just love going out there and kicking the ball around and having fun with it. And I don't think there's been anybody that's exemplified that more than Maradona, who just had an absolute love of the game and passion. And you saw that with, Boca Juniors. They scored the first goal since his passing, and then immediately entire team runs over to where his daughter is and kind of celebrates with them to kind of memorialize that. So yeah, like I said, Maradona's my shout out too, guys.
Awesome. Great way to close this up.
Good way to close it out. The man just loved life. You weren't going to tell him how to live his life. Period.
No.
Is it my turn? It's my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you'd kind of piggybacked, but if you want another shout out, go for it.
I'm going to give one more really quick.
Okay.
A friend of mine, she unfortunately passed away this week.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Taylor Hurt. Really good person. She was a college friend of mine. I was friends with her girlfriend. I'm still friends with her girlfriend. Unfortunately, she passed away at the ripe age of 30. That's where we're at right now, as well. That's I can't imagine what the family's going through, and honestly, I don't know her family on that kind of level. But if they do hear this, I just want to let them know we're all here for you. There's nothing that can be said that can make you feel better, but at least we're here, and we're here for you, and we're here to listen. As well as any friends of hers. I know a couple friends of hers listen to the show. I'm here to listen. Me personally, I don't mean to bring this completely down, because I think it's a great thing, honestly, at the end of the day. But I lost my mom and dad within 7 years of each other. And I know what it's like to lose people that you really love. So don't think it's the end of the world. It's really not. Promise. It doesn't seem that way now. Time will heal, but it's not going to feel that way right now. So that's all I got to say. That's it.
All right.
Great person. She was a soccer fan as well. So
She's talking to Maradona, right?
yeah, I think she is.
Yeah,
Fortunately, I wish I could talk to Maradona as well. And that's what she's doing. She's cooking up meals for him. She was a chef.
Probably juggling a few. You know.
She was a chef that she moved her way from Mississippi to New York.
Wow.
So
Impressive.
that dude, that
Says a lot about her.
I think that does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
I think that closes us out.
I think it does. Footy Fetish Soldiers. If you haven't followed us yet, you should probably do that. We're at Footy Fetish Show. Insta, Facebook, Twitter for the twatters. If you twat, you're a tweet. So you should do that. You know where we're at. Open up your twats and tweet. You gentlemen, I want to thank for being on here because I know we're taking time out of your night. We've been drinking a bunch too, so we want to apologize first and foremost for us drinking a bunch. But you put up with us.
Yeah.
First and foremost, Zach, Man United. I have another good friend of mine, it's a great Man United fan. He's gonna listen to you. He's gonna probably have a closet that he opens up, and he's gonna have candles. They're lit for you.
I appreciate it.
Oh, dude. Once he hears you got your Class C license, there's no stopping. And secondly, Mike, I play him in the fantasy American football. And
Is this Dynasty?
There
his
we
Dynasty.
go at it this week, buddy.
And I have to win to be in the playoffs, so go fuck yourself this week. Other than that, love you, man. I love your opinions. This
Gunner
week,
Mike.
however,
Love having Gunner Mike on the episode.
I'm going to take your opinions. I'm going to wipe my ass with them. And I'm going to throw them away. I'm going to flush them. But, gentlemen, thank you guys. Y'all are always amazing whenever we have you on. Appreciate it. You actually have real knowledge.
Yes. It's great.
So it's always great. Ocho, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
That's
Nova
it.
Acai.
Nova Acai, baby. We saw somebody win a whole free case tonight.
Actually, I gave both of them a free case.
We should have done a fucking Price is Right kind of thing. That's what we need to do next time.
Next time, maybe.
Soccer Price is Right.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, this has been Footy Fetish Show, where the fetish is real, and
The footy is soccer.
peace out, Boy Scouts.